Tonight I'm going to do a little different variation. I'm going to do calves and shoulders. It's good to have workout sessions where you give a lot of volume to these smaller muscle groups just to help the development. Sometimes we throw them in at the end of a workout and they don't get as much attention as maybe the larger muscle groups like our back and our legs. So that's what we're going to do tonight, and let's go get it.
All right, guys, so that concludes my shoulder and calf workout. It was kind of fun just focusing on those two muscle groups. I typically will throw shoulders in at the end of a back workout or do calves at the end of pretty much every workout unless I do core. So I started with the lateral raises. I didn't even touch 15s. I started with 20 for every set. And I did 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. For 40, I think I got 6. I might have gotten 8. And I'm getting better at the 40s. So I used to just barely be able to move the 40s. And you probably wonder, well, why the hell would you do that? Well, because you start to develop that strength above and beyond what you can actually do for a full range of motion. And I was able to get it almost parallel, not quite. I paired that with the overhead dumbbell press. I actually did not do 40 overhead for the last one. That would have been just too heavy. I grabbed the 30s and I did 8 for that last set for the overhead dumbbell press. Then I went on and I did the front raises. And again, I like to do a supination, meaning I turn my palm up when I come up to put tension on the anterior delt muscle here. As you notice, the heavier it gets, the more neutral my grip is, just because it's harder to supinate with those heavier weights. I'll get better, I'll get stronger, but I started with 20s. Of course, I did 20, 25, 30, 35. I just did 4 sets of that. And I paired that with the shrugs. I started with 50, so I did 50, 55, 60, 65 for the shrugs, and I did 15 reps for each set. Then I went over and I did the bent over dumbbell flies. I started with 20, so again, 20, 25, 30, 35, and I actually went up to 40 on that one, and I was able to get 10 reps on each set. Then I left the power room. They call that the power room because it's got more power type equipment, and actually there's no music in that room either, which I kind of like. I wear my headset anyway if I listen to music. And I went back into the main workout room and I used the easy bar, which is the bar with the bend in it. And I did anterior raises. I started with 40. I did 40, 50, 60, 70, 4 sets of 10 reps. I think I could only get 8 on the last one. That was good enough for shoulders. Then I went on to calves. I actually did 3 calf exercises, and I went a little heavier on each set. Instead of the small incremental increases, I increased in larger increments. So with the seated calf raise, I started with a plate, and I added a plate for each set for 4 sets. The last set, actually, I couldn't rack it to get it all the way up and lock it in. So I actually had to drop it. I took 2 plates off, and I finished the set with 2 plates, and I did like 10 or 12 more reps on that. Then I went over and I did the standing calf raise where you load the plates on each side. I actually did a plate on each side for 4 sets. So I did a plate, 2 plates, 3 plates, 4 plates, which means 2, 4, 6, 8 plates, right? Because we're just talking about how many plates are in on one side. And I went up to 8 plates for 4 sets, and I was able to do 15 reps for each one of those. Then I did the one where you bend over and put the pad on the back. I need to ask Leon. He's out there at the front desk. I'll have to ask him what the hell that thing is called. Anyway, I started at 70 and it increases by increments of 10. So 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 for 15 reps each. And that is a wrap. That was fun. It's good to change it up a little bit, to take the time to really focus on what we call accessory muscle groups, even though I don't really consider shoulders accessory. But sometimes these smaller muscle groups we throw in at the end of a workout and they don't get as much of attention as some of these larger muscle groups. And then what happens is the symmetry in our physique lags. Of course, as many of you know who've been watching my videos for eons, my shoulders grow real easy. My calves don't grow that easy. My legs don't grow that easy. My quads probably grow easier than my hamstrings. However, legs in general are a little bit of a challenge for me, not shoulders, not at all. So my traps come in strong, my delts come in strong, and it just gives me that nice V taper for my back, which I would probably argue my back is my best feature. And ironically, I like to work back. So As you notice, I put the belt on after a couple sets. The reason for that is because with a lot of these upper body movements, the lower back will fatigue. I noticed that with myself. It starts to really kick in those quadratus lumborum muscles and the spinae erectae. And then your back is just sore and fatigued, and it's hard to focus on the muscle group that you're working. So I put the belt on. That really helped to support my lower back, even though I would say my back is pretty strong in the lower region as well. I just like to give it a break. Shoulders was the upper body focus tonight, so I really wanted to emphasize that and not really have the back kicking into play too much. Then the last thing I did, which I didn't videotape, is I went and hung on the pull-up bar just to decompress my spine. Be sure and decompress your spine by hanging and just relaxing and feeling your vertebrae open up. It's really important because it's easy to slip a disc when you're pushing hard and lifting heavy for back and legs, for example. And also, it's really important to stretch. That's something I haven't admittedly been doing enough lately, and I'm feeling it. So tonight, I'm going to do some stretching. I'm going to go home and make some steak and wrap up my day. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video if you haven't already. I'm Dr. Victoria Munoz. Till next time, take care.